Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices, and starting with the S&P 500 here. And as you know, we've got a few different counts in terms of bullish and bearish counts. This is the bearish count here with the wave 4 here not completed from wave 3 here as an A wave, a B wave on here, and then a C wave to the downside. So the bullish pattern is a little bit similar in that we can have all of these 5 waves up here for wave 1 and pulling back for wave 2 here, and there's also another count as well if we include this in from wave 3 here as an A, B, C, D and E wave here for wave 4, this wave 4 here over here. Then we can look at this here as wave 1 to here with 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here, wave 2 to here, and then wave 1 here, and then pulling back for wave 2. So there's a couple of different sort of variations, but in all cases we should be seeing that from this structure here, this low here, the 5 waves up here, we should be seeing a corrective pattern that pulls back here further. So until we take this top out here, then we'll still look at this being in all cases a pullback within this particular space here. So just drilling into here somewhat on the 4-hour chart, we're looking for this being a top here. This is quite high up through here as well, and of course if it does take this high here on this one here, then we need to reconsider this particular count. But the thing is that this counts down here quite nicely as 5 waves, and if that was 5, then this needs to be an A, B, C, and then another 5 down here, and this doesn't really count very nicely as a 5-wave structure here, not on the cash market and not on this market here. So as I said last time, it's possible to count it, I guess, as wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and then extension in wave 5. That's possible, but it just doesn't have the right look and feel about it, you know. So we talked about going long, above these. Well, there's a couple of points that we need to make here. Is that the 2800 here, important level. Then we've got group 1, which is 1, 2 and 3 here, and if we get a tested support off this level here, then that's just triggers a long trade straight away. So you may be long, you may be not being on the Friday's close and all the rest of it, but if you are long, that's fine. I'd still expect this to go a little bit higher through here as well. So maybe I can just have a look at on the tick chart here. So on this tick chart here, we would need to look at this as a wave 3 here and a wave 4 here, then wave 1 and 2 here, and then this would be 1 and 2 and 3. So we're nearly to the top here. So can I use one of these here? Let's copy this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this will be the same for the NASDAQ as well here. So we still need to stay with what we're doing here at the moment. What's the daisy? What's that got on copy? So we're looking for 3, 4 and 5, bringing us up into this level here. So I can still see that we've got more to go up into this space here. Okay, so just save that. So if you are long, then expect a little correction at 2840 and then a move higher towards the 2850, but anywhere between 45 and 48 would be a nice place to look at tightening the stops up at least anyway. So on the this particular chart here, we're looking at this here in terms of wave 3 over here, and A, B, C, D and E here for wave 4, and 5 waves up here for wave 1 and back for wave 2 here. And then look, this is still the same situation. We're still looking for, even if we call this wave 1 to the upside here, then we're still looking for wave 2 to pull back. And I was just never happy with putting wave 2 under here because it didn't look right here. This was more like an A wave here, then an A and a B and a C wave here. So we need to allow this to finish. But it's very rarely that we'd see wave 1 here and wave 2 here as an expanded flat, taking the top out here and then coming back down through here. But we'll just give it a session. We could turn before the top here. The other point here is that in terms of day traders, this 2850 here, that sub-level there, then if that became the support, which will take a little bit of time as well, because it would be the arrival, the reaction here, then the first high above the level, and then a little ABC correction, and then finding support here, and then up from there. So you'd need something like that to go on here. This pattern here, interestingly enough, with the, just while we're here, if I use this level here, the classic trading level pattern is when we have the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then an A and a B and a C wave coming down through here, then back up through here. And then the variation on that is actually this one here, where we have the arrival over here, then we have the correction, and then the 5 waves up for the first high above the level here, and then it basically sits on here, so has the A, the B and the C wave sitting here, and then moves up from that point there. So this is the variation on the classic trading levels pattern. So this is what it's given us here, and normally I'd go long on this top here, but we just didn't get those 5 waves here. I mean, they're kind of there, but they're all squashed up, and not, I can make it fit, but it's not really the right thing to do. So I do want to give it another session to see where we are here, but support on top of the midpoint here, 2850, would be another opportunity to go long at that stage there. So just bear that in mind. So looking at the NASDAQ, it's the same situation as well. At the tops here, we could have a wave B like the S&P, and we could have this as wave 1 or this as wave 1, but it's still the same case. We're still looking for this to move back here. We looked at this here. This is a nicer sort of 5-wave structure here with an A and a B and a C here for the B wave pulling back in and then moving up into this space here. But I can also see too that this is corrective here, so I know that we'll be pushing higher here. So I'm thinking, well, obviously the 50 is going to be important here, the midpoint, the 50, if I can just get it there, it's close enough. And then also in counting 5 waves up here, we can look at the tick chart. This tick chart's 300 ticks, so looking for 5 waves up from that last low for the C wave would be 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4 here, and then going up for wave 5 here. So there's many ways to get that target to the upside there, but one of them is just taking the top here and the low there and looking for the, looking for the 161 extension above this particular correction here. So that would bring the NASDAQ in at 7440 here roughly, and in that here we've got wave 3 and 4 here. We can look at this as being wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and wave 3 is still in progress here, so then there'll be a wave 4 and then a wave 5. So we can still trade to the upside there if that's what you want, and one way to do that is this number here, the 7,400. Obviously that's got to become the support for this market to move any higher, so that's something to look at getting in there. So use the classic trading levels pattern at this degree of structure on the 7,400. The other point that we looked at last week with the move up here was that the volume, and so this volume that's occurred here has been quite weak here on the futures market here. So we did end up getting increasing volume coming into this particular bar on this one here. This one here being corrective, we're on lower volume here, but it's closed higher, so it's moved up on lower volume. So we would have to say that it's running out of steam on that last bar there. So yes, just to give it a bit of a wrap up here, from this structure here. We've got wave 1 and 2 here, and we're only sort of halfway through this wave 3 that will take us higher up here, and a wave 4 and a wave 5 to come into somewhere around the 7440 mark here. And if anything goes wrong at this particular stage, because this is the corrective pattern here, if any move became low under the 7380 here, then we would be looking at a top in place and a bearish move from there. And so you could short that as a tested resistance. And then you've also got the 72 in here, so 7,372. If that becomes the retested resistance, you can short from that point. As it stands at the moment, that's the point that you would go long from, and you would also be putting the stop under that point there now as well. So alright, just a short video, but let's just see how these tops unfold in the next session. That's what we're looking for. Cheers.